Hey guys, what's poppin'? Dev vs Gaming here, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be going over the applications and uses of graphics cards and what to buy and put into your gaming computers. So that's going to be a fun one today. So firstly, a very basic PC, just going to go into this quickly PC buying guide for a second. May not need a graphics card if the CPU supports graphics card functionality. Now this is good for people who don't need a graphics card because they're not trying to run graphically intensive tasks or tasks that require graphic processing, and this will make it a lot easier for you to buy, and it will cost a lot less. Graphics cards are one of the most expensive parts of your PC build, and you'll have to be careful when buying one because you will need to aim for getting a good graphics card at a cheap price. So for buying graphics cards, we really have two choices, which is the Nvidia stream, which is Intel stream of cards, and AMD stream of cards. Mostly are known as the Radeon card series, which are AMD streams of cards. So again, we've got Team Blue fighting Team Red. You've got, for graphics cards, unlike CPUs however, you do get a lot more sellers. For most CPUs, you do buy either an AMD or an Intel CPU straight out the box. However, for a graphics card, you usually find plenty of different sellers and buyers, including graphics card sellers like Asus, Gigabyte, and many other graphics card sellers who sell on original graphics cards with different architectures. So the main part of a graphics card is known as a GPU. Now you may have also heard of graphics cards being called GPUs. Now this is not quite correct, where a graphics card and a GPU is slightly different. The chip on a graphics card is called the GPU, and this chip is what does most of the processing, but it's not the graphics card. They're two different things. Now when looking at a graphics card, you have to realise that different graphics cards are laid out in different ways. So a Gigabyte graphics card will have the same GPU and probably everything else will be the same, but they might be in different places, just so the fan and the cooling is done differently to a different one, or that the memory is in a different place where it would normally be at the top on a original or a Founders Edition, which are the ones produced by GeForce or Nvidia themselves. They might be placed at the bottom or at the right hand or left hand side on a Gigabyte graphics card. Now this is useful for companies controlling their stock, however it doesn't help with water cooling, which is quite hard to do on a graphics card unless you have a Founders Edition card, because everyone knows what a Founders Edition card looks like. Otherwise you have to try and find one specifically for your card. Now, going into what graphics cards you actually need for your gaming profile you have, the main thing you have to look at is that you probably don't need the highest end of high-end graphics cards if you're not going to run something like that ridiculous kind of powerful 4K gaming setup. If you're not running 4K, that you really don't need anything higher than a GTX 1080. You definitely don't need 1080 Ti. You probably don't need to go down to a 1070. That is really all you need for running those sorts of graphics on your computers. If you're looking to run a 4K monitor, I'd say maybe a Ti or two 1080s. Both would work and both would be good for your gaming setup. They would help you immensely. Running more than a couple of 4K monitors, you probably need to put an SLI chip onto a single onto GTX 1080s or a GTX 1080 Ti in SLI, which would help to keep the content running smooth, especially if you're trying to play a game over multiple screens with monitors of the same size and height and that sort of thing, because running a game over multiple screens is going to be a lot harder on the GPU because it has to sync them. So an SLI chip, instead of trying to run it through the computer's chips, running an SLI chip will be a lot more useful for you doing that. However, I have included a link to Tom's Hardware here, and you'll see on the screen the actual chart I was looking at, which shows to you sort of what level of graphics you're looking at, what kind of FPS you're looking at, and what difficulty of game you're looking at to play with the graphics card. If you're looking to play a specific game or a couple of specific games, check whether they're graphics intensive or CPU intensive games. A game like Counter-Strike Global Offensive is a CPU intensive game, whereas a game like GTA 5 is a graphically intensive game, using up a hell of a lot of graphical memory in top settings, which is hard for some GPUs to keep up with, and you might need a higher end GPU to run that. Finally, I'm just going to go quickly into some business level of graphics cards. This sounds a bit weird seeing as this is a gaming channel, but looking at graphics cards like the Quadro and the Quadro line from Nvidia, you see that they have more memory. They're mainly designed for business setups where you might have one graphics card running virtualized environments, or they're designed for scientific setups where you're trying to run calculations on the graphics cards, because scientific calculations on graphics cards are a lot easier to run than scientific calculations on the CPU, and it will be much more efficient. Now, these sort of graphics cards really don't differ that much from something like a 1080 or a 1080 Ti. The main difference is the amount of memory they have. Now, the memory is very important when we're trying to run intensive scientific calculations, graphical calculations, because you run out of memory and you cannot do the calculation. So that's really why the amount of memory on a calculation processor is so large. So finally, just looking back on the episode, for anything below 4K, 1080 and probably a 1070 will do for most games. In fact, almost any game, apart from maybe, you know, your very upstanding GTA. I mean, you can easily just turn the settings down from ultra high, ultra fast to medium or even low. If you're just gonna complain about it, you can easily do that, and you can get the same graphic settings as of a lower brand of GPU, and you put an easy sneaky 1070 into your build instead of a 1080. It saves you a lot of money. Graphics cards are probably the most expensive part of the build, knowing from me that my rest of my build cost as much as my graphics card. So looking at something like 4K, one single 1080 to run a 4K monitor is probably good enough. However, if you want to run multiple 4K monitors or just multiple monitors on top of your 1080 monitor, I would recommend buying or getting a second chip, maybe a second 1080. You don't need to go up to the 1080 Ti and putting these two chips in SLI, because it will add extra power and extra humidity to your build, which will help you in the future if you need to change certain aspects or running even more GPU intensive games that will come out in the future. So that will help you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I hope you learned a bit, and I hope you're ready to go out and buy the graphics card of your dreams, but not one that's gonna rip your pockets out of your pants. If you did enjoy the episode, leave me a thumbs up. If you did enjoy the episode, you know what to do, but remember to leave a comment in the description telling me why you didn't enjoy the episode, so I can fix it so you guys will like the episodes more in the future. Remember to subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you in the next one.